voice is my YT channel. Okay, my center of my vloggings and live streamings are all about pure sciences and personal vloggings also. It depends on what particular topics that I'll be able to share with you guys, because normally I will never prepare. It will just come automatically in my brain cells, and then I have to vlog and live stream on the spot without any plans at all. Nakakaloka. Okay, and also occupational safety and health, and a little bit of, environmental aspects. Why? Why, Sir Sotero, why there's a little bit of environmental aspects? Because actually, guys, I studied NSES, Masters of Environmental Science, in University of San Carlos. I took up my master's there, but I never finished. Okay, that's why it could not be denied. Somewhere along my discussion, I have also to emphasize how to nurture and care of our planet Earth in our environment. Okay, so it will just
input mode.
Oh, nakakaloka. Okay, guys. Oh, nakakaloka. Wait for a while. I have to adjust the microphone.
The Bluetooth device
Hello,
is
sound
ready
check.
to pair.
Sound check, 1, 2, 3. Sound check, 1, 2, 3. Sound check, 1, 2, 3. Hello, mga palangga. Okay, now, let's go directly to the topic. Okay. IUPAC. IUPAC, guys. IUPAC. International Union for Pure Applied Chemistry. So this acronym have meaning. Okay? So in IUPAC, guys, there are two persons involved in determining the physical properties of a substances. When we mean of a substance, that is a phase of matter. Could it be solid, liquid, and gas? Anything that occupies space and has mass. So that is matter. So when we mean of matter, it composed of different substances, could either be solid, liquid, or gas. So this solid, liquid, and gas has its physical properties. So we divided that in two. Okay. Okay, makita guys. Okay, physical properties. Okay. So like this. Physical properties divided into intensive property, okay, and extensive property, okay, like that. Get the point? And then we mean of physical properties, it's also tantamount to physical quantities, okay? So which is which? It depends on the terminology used in the reference chemistry books that they are using, but actually they have the same meaning, quantities and properties. So sometimes you'll be able to use as physical properties, and sometimes you'll be able to use physical quantities. Okay, now we need to define intensive property and extensive properties, and after that we need to give examples for that. But before going further, guys, this has been introduced or discovered by a German writer, okay, German writer George Helm, okay, like this, in 1898. Okay, when I was in starting from my grade school level and in elementary level until high school, I'm really fan of memorizing various scientists, various processes, and then it develops when I reach college, when I took up BS Chemical Engineering at Cebu Institute of Technology University. Okay, so that habit and culture of memorization, and of course, at the same time, you have to understand before you memorize also, and you have to, to understand really what are the mechanics or the mechanism, how to memorize it very well, and you take a hint, okay, a hint, a clue, and also, identification or indicators so that you can easily memorize. So see, such as like this, acronym, okay, for IUPAC, IUPAC, German writer George Helm in 1898, and also an American physicist and chemist, C. Richard C. Tolman in 1917. Okay, mga ganun siya guys. So, memorize different scientists and their contribution, especially if you are facing different science examinations, or let us say if you are the representatives of any science quiz bowls, science competition that you are representing your schools, and you should be reading because every type of questions have also like that. Okay, scientists and their contributions, chemical formulas, okay, like that, different processes, something like that, and you have to understand that also. You will start with the basic, okay, the core foundation. Before going to the complex processes, you have to start with a very, very basic. For example, boiling point, melting point, magaganon siya, freezing point, okay? Viscosity. Viscosity is basic. I think a little bit complicated na siya, di ba? So, always as a surface tension. Okay? Surface tension, refractive index, and the different forms of energies. What are those different forms of energies, Sotero? You are dealing now with physics. No, actually also, guys, energies are being discussed also in chemistry. Energies, different types of energies. It's not limited only to physics. Because you said, most of the times, physics is a branch of science that deals with the study of matter and energy, and chemistry is the branch of science that deals with the study of chemical reactions and any chemical changes that it undergoes, and then to convert the raw materials into useful products. So that is the definition of chemistry, right? Okay, so why you involve Sotero energies in chemistry? Because we need to understand that matter and energy are always complementary with each other. Okay? Things like that. Okay, now, what is an extensive property? Okay, so an extensive property, guys, of course, I said earlier, that is a quantity. So, physical quantity whose values are dependent and directly proportional to the size of the system. For example, if I have this picture right now, here, actual example in front of you, this one, if I have to pour water inside of this glassware, then it will occupy the shape of a container, right? So meaning to say, that water, when you pour inside this glassware, it will occupy and then it will retain the shape of the container. You get the point? So it's dependent and proportional. Okay? If your container is rectangular, or let's say trapezoid, rhombus, spherical, something like that, then of course you will see the water also has like that shape also, right? So dependent and directly proportional with the size of the system. Okay, you get the point. So those are extensive properties. Okay, now it's very easy, guys. The reverse will be the intensive properties. Okay, it's a physical quantity whose magnitude doesn't depend, okay, and does not directly proportional, meaning to say inversely proportional to the size of the system. So it's very, very easy to memorize because the reverse holds through. If you have only one definition of the extensive property, then bingo, you can easily detect the definition of the other one because there are only two types of physical properties, the extensive property and the intensive property. Now, let's go to the example. Okay. Example for extensive property. I will never forget this, guys, because it came out in the, chemistry quiz bowl before. Okay? And I answered perfectly. Not perfectly, I answered it correctly. Sorry. Nakakaloka. Inunasa ko yung habogiraon, ha? Okay, I'm just telling the truth, guys, that I became a champion in chemistry quiz bowl. Okay? If that is not the case, then wala ko karon being a registered chemical engineer in front of you. Okay? Because I love really chemistry, that's why, and any sciences also. Physics, something like that, and earth science, biochemistry, environmental chemistry, a lot, nuclear chemistry. I don't have to explain further, right? Okay, now go back to extensive property. My gosh. Okay, extensive property. Okay. Shout out sa mga chemistry teachers, chemistry instructors. Okay, who are listening also, correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm not really a legend instructor in a classroom instruction. This is only sharing of information. Okay, like that. Okay, extensive property example. Okay, example. So we have the length, okay, the volume, the mass, okay, the size, different size or dimension, right? Okay, dimension, okay. We have also the amount of the substance. Of course, when you put an amount of a substance, it will also carry the shape of the container, right? Amount of a substance, so we need to say the number of moles. Okay, N, small letter N. Mole, okay? And then also the different types of energies. Okay, we have kinetic energy, we have potential energy, we have Helmholtz energy, gives free energy, enthalpy, entropy, okay, like that. Different types of energies, guys, are also extensive property. Okay? You get the point? So, adyan mong kalibo. So, length, volume, mass, size, dimension, mole. Okay, meaning it occupies the shape, right? Like that. And various types of energies. Various types of energies are really complex in nature na talaga siya. It's not being emphasized in grade school chemistry level and in high school chemistry level or in chemistry senior high. It will be explained more in college. In chemistry, 4 semesters, chemistry lectures, 1, 2. Okay? Am I correct? 4 semesters, right? 1, 2, and then the laboratory also. Okay? So each lecture has its own corresponding laboratory. Both chemistry lecture 1 and chemistry lecture 2. Okay? So these are extensive property. And we have intensive property. Okay? Intensive property, a lot. Okay, guys, routine the gana, guys. Usually, guys, intensive property are what we call operating parameters or operating conditions in different processes. Okay, especially if you have, for example, if you are in a petroleum industry, petrochemical industry, you have fractional distillation, something like that. So that's it, also an example of an intensive property, something like that. Okay, so a lot. Okay, we have boiling point. The separation based on the boiling points, right, and volatilities of a liquid is a distillation. Okay, is a process known as distillation. A separation process in terms or by means of the volatilities and boiling points is called distillation. Okay, in unit operations, but we'll not be dealing with higher chemistry here. Okay, so intensive properties. Okay, intensive properties, boiling point. I'll just put BP, not blood pressure, but boiling point. Okay. Nakakaloka. So FP, freezing point. Okay. We have also the melting point. Okay. Like that. Heat capacity, specific heat capacity of any substance is also under intensive property. Specific heat capacity. Okay? What is the specific heat capacity of water? That is 1 calorie per gram degree Celsius. Okay? And you can convert that to joules by having the relationship 1 calorie is equal to 4,184 joules. And then bingo, you can compute in terms of joules also. Okay? Like that. So specific heat capacity, like that. Okay, we have also the viscosity. Okay, viscosity. Okay, the density. Density. Okay, we have also the surface tension. Okay, specific gravity. Okay, so density and specific gravity are, directly proportional with the shape. If we have a specific gravity, then we can compute directly for the density. So our basis will be the density of water at 4 degrees Celsius. Okay, that's why we have a density of, for example, 1 gram per ml, mga ganun siya, 1,000 kilogram per cubic meter, and then 62.43 pounds per cubic feet in terms of the English unit, something like that, right? So those are the values of the density of water at 4 degrees Celsius. It's not 25 degrees Celsius. So this is only the exemptions when we say about standard temperature and pressure, right? And then normally, if it is not specified, if we mean standard temperature, that would mean 25 degrees Celsius. So, but for the density, it is not aligned. Okay, for the density, our reference for the standard density, the temperature basis for that is 4 degrees Celsius, not 25 degrees Celsius. But for others, such as for example, the enthalpy of heat of formation at standard conditions, that is 25 degrees Celsius, and others also as well. A lot, right? In different physical properties tables, okay, in your chemistry and in your, if you have also physics book, both physics book and chemistry book has its own table of the physical properties. A lot there. It is represented to tabulation, or it is represented to graph, or as whatever, okay, graph, table, symbols, or whatever is expressed there. All you have to do is to interpret, okay? Because sometimes also have its own empirical formula. Empirical formula meaning to say it is a formula designed for that particular table. May not be or may be discussed by classroom instruction, but there's a lot of graphical representation that is not discussed also in your classroom instruction. And you can find that in the most comprehensive Paris Chemical Engineer's Handbook of different substances. Could it be chemical properties and physical properties of different substances, guys, in organic chemicals, liquids, gases, solvents, name it. It's there in the Paris Chemical Engineer's Handbook. Okay? So that's why maglibog yun mixing pakli. Okay, but anyhow, we don't deal with that. We are just here in the chemistry, basic chemistry, right? So intensive property, I mentioned again, boiling point, freezing point, melting point, specific heat capacity, viscosity, density, surface tension, okay, and specific gravity, and also others, okay? I don't have to mention everything. It's in the table, right? Okay, molarity, normality, gano'n, molarity, a lot. Okay? Get the point, guys. Especially, guys, katong mga expression of the concentrations, and then under to siya sa intensive property. Okay? Ganon. Katong mga molarity, normality. Okay? Okay. Ganon. So, any questions so far? After this vlogging, I'll be able to have an examination that I will be able to present after this, but I should touch also other topics before going further. Okay, our next topic will be the Lewis dot structures, covalent bonding and non-covalent bonding, polar covalent bonding and non-polar covalent bonding, something like that. It talks about, chemical, bonding. Because without chemical bonding, different chemical substances will never react. Something like that. And we don't have water to drink if there's no bonding. That is hydrogen to hydrogen bonding and dipole to dipole bonding in case of the polar water molecule. Got a point? And we need also to classify which among the compounds will undergo a covalent bonding, which among the compounds will undergo an ionic bonding, and which among the compounds will undergo a van der Waals bonding, or the weak intermolecular forces type of bonding, and name it. We can discuss later on. But for this moment in time, this is all about physical properties, extensive property, and intensive property. Bye-bye. God bless everybody. See you later for the next vlog. If you did not subscribe to the channel yet, then you can subscribe now. And then click the button, like a bell, a notification bell for some news updates of I Am a Singer, Eternal Voice. You can like, comment, share, or whatever stuff you'll be able to do. Okay, so whatever, I am very, very happy to see you for my next vlogging and live streaming. Bye bye, God bless everybody. Di ba?